Today we're playing some more realistic games, because the last time I played some, I got hundreds of comments recommending me so many more. But what makes a game realistic? Is it the graphics, the gameplay, or maybe something else? So I gathered 3 of the most requested games from my comments, and my goal was to see just how realistic these games were, and if they were even fun to play. And the only way to do that is to actually play them. So here's the first game. Push up, boys, push up! Oh, fall back, fall back! Arma 3 is a military sandbox shooter that throws players into a massive battle featuring infantry, tanks, helicopters, and jets across huge open maps. All of the comments told me that this has been the best military simulator to play for over 12 years, and with over 100 suggestions, I couldn't really ignore it. So I booted the game up, clicked on the first server I saw, and spawned into the world. Whoa, okay, we're in the game, and I have no idea where to start. Well, since I didn't really know what to do, I just jumped into the first helicopter I saw and went straight to the front lines to see some action. Oh man, I do not feel confident at all in this area. That's an enemy. Oh my god. Please. I don't know what I'm doing. What? I lost that? Yeah, that was a tough introduction, but it's fine. I just respawned back at the base and hopped into another helicopter, where my new pilot unfortunately forgot how to fly. Oh my, we're gonna crash. We're crashing. Dude, how am I alive still? What? Yo, Ben, first time player here. That was some crazy flying, dude.
Oh, my bad, dude. Oh, so that happens every now and then when you fly with me.
Yeah? Well, thankfully, Ben here was a pretty chill player. He not only taught me about this game, but he invited me to his group and even flew me around the map whenever I needed it. Oh, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god. For my first time playing, I'd say that it was going fairly well. I was chasing down the objective, helping out my team, and sometimes surviving with just a sliver of health. There goes Ben again. Please don't crash. But in order to get the full experience, I knew that I would have to try out some other servers. So I said my goodbyes to Ben and found a PvE server that played a little bit differently. Oh, that was a landmine. Holy shit, you good, dude? I gotta heal myself. My god. Instead of fighting real players over one objective, I was fighting an entire AI team across this gigantic map, and they were not holding back. I think they're in the tower up. Dude, what? All we had to do was capture a few objectives, clear out the area, and wait for the next wave to appear. But with how the AI operated, it made the firefights pretty realistic. I gotta heal up. Gotta heal up. Patrick, watch out. Get back. Patrick. Patrick, no!
Oh, shit.
And even though we were getting overwhelmed here, I was still enjoying everything about this server. The combat was intense, my team actually worked together, and I met a player named Jumbo who helped me out with the sponsor for this video. Hey Jumbo, you ever heard of the game Marvel Rivals?
Marvel what?
Marvel Rivals, the 66 free-to-play shooter on both consoles and PC.
Is this for a YouTube video?
Maybe? Yep, it sure is. And the amount of characters you can play with here is honestly impressive. From fan favorites like Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Jeff the Shark, you can find a whole bunch of variety when it comes to picking your playstyle.
Jeff, I love you so much, your bubble saved my life.
And between the movement, combos, hero abilities, and team-up mechanics, there's always some cool new tricks to learn. And another thing that's cool is the destruction, because a lot of these maps can be brought down with the right firepower, especially if you're playing in the new game mode Bounty Annihilation, where it's 18 versus 18. I have a really bad thing about this. And there are plenty of seasonal events, like the Summer Festival happening right now, where players can earn up to 2,500 units by completing missions including their daily login. So if you want to play a game that is constantly getting new heroes, maps, and modes, make sure to check out Marvel Rivals today by using my link in the description or the pinned comment down below. Anyways, after I was done talking to Jumbo, he offered to take me on my first side mission where we would drive tanks into a small village and blow up some enemies. And it was great. This is like the most realistic tank I've ever been. It has a camera, dude. What is that? There were at least over 100 enemies, and Jumbo and I took out almost every single one of them. Oh, these poor bastards. Lay on into them, yeah! Yeah! We even had to get out of the tanks during all of the chaos, and even though it did look dicey at first, we thankfully had some teammates to help us out. You're looking great out there. Load that tank up with the C4.
I got it.
Doing great.
Run for your life. Woo!
Nice.
Overall, I had a fantastic time with Arma 3 and its community. Whether it was facing real players or AI, I always had a team that helped me out. And personally, I think that's one of the main reasons why this game has been going strong for over 12 years. It has everything you'd want from a realistic shooter and then some. So if you were looking to play a new milsim and you've never touched this one, I'd say go for it. Just be careful of those helicopters, because every time I got in them, it never went well. We're not landing, are we?
Now,
Dude, every time, man, why? Okay, what's the next game we got? Surely I live through this, right? I mean, I have to. Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Operator is a hardcore first-person shooter with brutal combat, realistic tactics, and heart-pounding action. All of the comments told me that this game was well worth the early access price, and that it had some of the best gun customization I could have ever imagined. So I booted the game up, picked out a loadout, and jumped into my first mission, which did not go well. Alright, this game is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I can't jump here. Oh god, please. God. And after being gunned down, I realized that I couldn't do this alone. So I went ahead and browsed the online servers, picked out the best looking one, and got myself some teammates. All right, push up. Oh. Did you get them? Now, I did try my best to stick close with my team here, but we still had a few casualties. Are you guys good? That would be a no. Got it. However, in the end, we still managed to clear out the entire home and complete our mission. So, I mean, it was kind of a success. Only two of us survived. That is, okay, well, only one. What was that? But once that mission was done, we all went back to the safe house, edited our loadouts, and jumped right into the next one. But this was a much harder mission. Is this the right way? Okay guys, do not go that way. There was gunners on trucks, enemies waiting inside of the buildings, and explosions everywhere. I don't want to leave this corner. I am terrified. And since we kept failing this one mission over and over again, the host just left the session, and it kicked me out. So instead of joining another random lobby, I decided to invite my friend to help me out. And man, was it a rough start for us. Jin, just stay down, man.
are you dead?
No, I'm not. Oh, no. I might be soon. Just keep crawling, keep crawling. But it's okay. Once we changed our loadouts, it got a little bit easier. And from here, it was just trial and error figuring out how everything worked. Sometimes we got lucky, while other times, not so much. Hey, back up real quick. Oh, there's no way. There's no way. But after a couple of tries and some smart thinking, we would eventually complete that mission and move on to the rest, which was surprisingly a lot. We were sniping on top of mountains, chasing high-value targets with night vision, and blowing up missile depots with rockets. All right, clear. That was sick, dude. And after we realized that we could replay these missions with our own custom adjustments, like adding way more enemies than there should be, oh yeah, it was pure chaos. A lot in the building. Oh my god, come on. There's so many. There's so many. There's a guy here. There's a guy behind us. Got my pistol. I can't. Go. And speaking of chaos, halfway through our session, some random player managed to join our lobby and they dropped us a modded LMG, which only fired high explosive rounds. So, what do you think of that? Pretty cool, right?
Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure this gun's not supposed to be in the game, but we definitely used it. Give him hell! Rain down the fire! Oh my god! For an early access game, Operator seems to be doing a lot of things right. The missions are diverse, the controls are incredibly in-depth, and the gun customization is pretty realistic. I mean, every time you load into the game, you have to chamber your ammo. What other game does that? With a couple of more updates, I could totally see this game getting extremely popular. And until then, I'm gonna keep playing this. And I'll also keep getting jump scared by those heavy machine guns. Did I get the last guy over here? Oh! Oh! No way! Bro, what was that? Okay, what's the last game we got? Oh, I just almost fell off the entire cliff. Holy shit.
Yeah, don't fall in.
I was waiting for it.
I thought it was like a barrier or something.
Yeah, that's not a barrier. That's just a warning label.
Star Citizen is a massive multiplayer first-person space simulation game where players explore, trade, fight, and complete missions in a vast living universe. All of the comments told me that it's unlike any other game out there, and that it will probably overwhelm me. So I got myself a copy, jumped into the game, and began creating my very own character. Oh wait, I can make my own character? Oh, this is sick.
2 seconds later.
I don't know what I've made here, but it's something alright. And after my beautiful face was complete, I could start the tutorial and see what this game had to offer. Okay, right away, dude, this game looks insane. And the amount of detail in my room was astounding. Wait, can I eat this burrito? Aw, hell yeah. And when I stepped outside, it only got better. Whoa, this city kind of looks like Cyberpunk in a way. Wait a minute, can I explore all this? Yeah, I totally could, but I still had a tutorial to complete. So I visited the nearby shops, learned the basic keybinds, and rode around the city's train. And they got transportation? Dude, this city's kind of nice. It's kind of clean. Then after taking in all the views, I was guided toward the hangars and got my first lesson in flying. Oh man, power toggle U. Oh, that's so cool, whoa. Now, personally, I thought I was going to crash this thing immediately, but nope. I managed to fly through every checkpoint, jump towards the nearest space station, and landed my ship without a single scratch. All right, now the tough part, landing. How do I do that? Auto land with N. Oh, okay. Never mind, that was actually really easy. And with that landing out of the way, my tutorial was over. The game left me all alone, and I had no idea where to go next. I guess I can try to talk to random people, right? I can do that? So that's what I did. I walked around the space station and asked anyone I could for help. But this took me a while. Seriously, I did this for so long, but everyone I came across just ignored me, both in the game and on the forums. The website has to be broken, because no one is responding to me. However, just when I was almost about to give up, I managed to grab the attention of one single player. Hello, do you hear me at all?
Hello.
Oh shit, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've been trying to talk to every single person, but they just keep ignoring me.
Yeah. No, it's not you. It's just the game. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because I'm brand new to the game, and I have no idea what's going on right now.
Oh, welcome to the game.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. So what exactly are you doing?
I am helping my buddy unload his ship.
Oh, cool. Well, do you mind if I tag along and join you guys? And just like that, I was invited to Killer's group, and he showed me around the entire station. I met his friends, took a tour of their ship, and visited multiple shops to get myself some brand new gear. And with this substantial upgrade, I was ready to accompany my new friends in their next mission, which was to travel to a very far planet and infiltrate this giant facility. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, dude. I am terrified. Right away, we were taking down bounty hunters, mutated alien dogs, and whatever these things were. What is that? You guys didn't tell me we were facing tentacles? What is... Hello? It was pretty chaotic, and I did not expect my first outing in the universe to be this high-level mission. But I'm glad my new friends were there to help, because I would have been completely lost down here without them.
Come this way, yeah.
Who, this guy?
The guy that's jumping.
Quit following
No,
me.
sorry, you guys are all wearing the same armor. I have no idea. This whole mission took us over 2 hours to complete, and between the fighting, flying, and puzzle solving, I wasn't sure how much more there could possibly be, but apparently there's a lot. We're talking about bounty hunting, intense space battles, and even flying through wormholes that connect galaxies. Wait, are you controlling this?
Yep.
Wait, really?
Yeah, this is like a mini game. Instead of a loading screen, this is what you get.
and I couldn't believe this was all happening in one of the many galactic maps that hundreds of players share simultaneously. Oh, and also, what the fuck is that?
That is a Vandal. These are what we're at war with in the storyline.
Dear Lord. Star Citizen is truly a gigantic game that has a lot to be discovered, and I have barely scratched the surface. Yes, it's extremely overwhelming with all of its keybinds, tutorials, menus, and other little things that the game just doesn't show you. But if you can get used to all of that, you will be fully immersed in seconds. So if you wanted to play a realistic space sim and didn't know where to start, I think it's safe to say that this one is a solid choice. And if Killer or anyone from the group is watching this video, thank you. But next time you're on, can you help me out again? I kinda tried doing a solo mission when you all logged off, and, well, I gotta get out. I gotta get out. They just blew my ship up, dude. Okay, well. Bro, what? Oh, my ship is gone. It's just gone. When it comes to realistic games, I think all three of these are pretty solid. Whether you want to fight with a team across a giant map, feel the pressure of close quarters combat, or experience a life in space, there's always something for everyone. Overall, I'm pretty happy with all these recommendations, and I can't wait to see what other realistic games are out there that I haven't played yet. So if you want to see me explore any other realistic games, like all of these that I've played before, make sure to comment them down below. Thanks to the YouTube members for supporting the channel, and if you're still watching this video, go watch my other videos. YouTube thinks to like the ones on the screen right now. Okay, bye.